playing a lot better than I thought he was.
Really?
Hmm I mean, he's picked off Prescott 3 times already. Uh, let's see. I haven't seen Sting play, so I don't know
Oh,
like
and
how
if you guys are watching the games, that's cool because I'm gonna do some look arounds to the league and see what's going on. We are on the air, by the way, but obviously just in test mode right now.
But I'm trying to find Roman because Roman was, I guess it looked like he was going to play Nino El
What's going on? We are on the
Nina,
air, by the way, but
and
obviously just in test
he
mode right
just
now.
disappeared. So, but I'm trying to I just find
What's
messaged
going
him
on?
on Facebook again. I guess it looked like he was going to play Nino El
What's going on? We
Hello
are on the
Nina,
air, by the way, but
and
obviously just in
Hi.
test
he
mode
just
right now.
disappeared. So, but I'm trying to
I
find
just
messaged him
Roman
on
because
Facebook
Roman was.
again. Who are you losing to,
It
Stu?
looked like he was going to play me.
Hello,
I don't lose
Nina,
many games, my
and
friend. Hi.
he just
But
disappeared. So,
I just played Ian Robson.
Mm.
He is, I guess they call him Skins. Ian
Mm.
Robson.
Oh, Ian, yes.
He is.
I'm familiar with
They
him.
call him Skins. Ian Robson.
Let's see. Oh, Ian.
Yeah,
Roman has not messaged me.
I'm
familiar
back,
with him, so
Skins,
I don't
Ian
know.
Robson.
Let's see.
I saw him post on Facebook. They were looking for someone to help him look at his car. So that was a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I saw that too. Well, the Dallas and Rams game is tied 15-15, starting third quarter.
Rams. Who is that? Cody? No.
Goof.
I need him to lose as many games as possible. I do have his first.
And you have my Jacks.
I certainly do have those Jacks.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I know, you didn't really have a chance to get them, right?
Actually, oh, you. This what we're doing. Is this what we're doing, Stokes? It's okay. I'll just harass you on one of Kendall's posts. But anyway, no. I mean, I like the feel of the game. Though the game is really like after playing Cody and learning like a couple of things or whatever. I like the feel of it. I like this version better than any other version I played before. Not to say I was really good then, but like now I feel like I have a chance to be a little bit better than I was before. You guys playing multiple routes at more than one route at a time. Stokes.
Yeah, I think that it's a pretty good game overall. But with the patches, I assume that things about the game will continue to change. So
Yeah.
I don't know what to expect overall as the year goes. But usually when there's something that's like OP, EA then patches it to completely shut it down, and there's some of those things that they do. But one of the things I thought I would see more of is the Jurdle that they were talking about, and I haven't seen anyone do that in any game so far.
Okay.
I also haven't played any ranked or mud or draft champions. I've only played my franchise games, and that's it.
Well, I know a couple of guys that played ranked a lot, and they weren't too happy about a lot of the stuff that they saw. So, yeah.
It's a different experience out there in ranked because it's all pro, and you can get away with a lot more, which is good. I mean, that's why we said it's all Madden. All right, I'm gonna update my Madden, the site, because I think one game's already gone final, and we're gonna be using that site a lot on our show tonight. JD says he has another game he'll join after maybe, but I don't think we're gonna be on long enough for him to finish a game and join us. We'll see though. So once my Madden, I should probably get my Madden up. So I have 2 games going on right now. I see Stang's game and I see West's game. Is there another game going on that I'm missing?
I assumed PP and Pepe. I said PP. Pepe and Reese were going to play, but whoever was going to play, but they didn't, I guess.
I
So,
think Pepe's stream is his game in PS4 because he was one of the last games of the week there.
I
okay,
think that
no,
that can end up being a little bit of a hindrance when we're dealing with people in both leagues because they don't separate the streams when they stream, so it's they stream one thing, it goes to both of the pages.
Yeah, we
well,
got
I
a
was
Like
just
I had that happen when I was in other leagues last year. I would stream those games and then they would just pop up on PS4.
yeah. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not
I
really
don't think
sure.
there's a way to fix it because it links every time you stream.
Hmm. Hmm, hmm,
Gave
hmm.
Joe Schobert some of the biggest ears of all time. Are
wait,
you on?
what?
Are you on the? Are you guys on the game? Go to Joe Schobert and look at him.
I'm doing this right now. Roman, Nino, if you're listening, Roman says he's going to text you if he hasn't already. I'm not sure.
You can text
So
him,
yeah, listen, dude. That's
bruh.
what I
Jesus Christ. Oh shoot, we're on the air. Never mind. All right, I'm putting this on the air. I'm gonna just go back one more second, make sure that if anybody's listening, um, that they can hear you guys okay.
Oh my God, he has some big ass ears.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, it's ridiculous.
He's part rat. Is he like like a gerbil, a rat, a skunk? What the fuck is he? Shit. Oh, okay. Roman will be home in an hour.
Oh wow,
Okay.
A Bomb's coming back. So okay, so when we start this podcast, first thing I'm gonna do is do a live look in on the ending of the Bears and Lions game. We'll just stay with it till it ends.
Oh,
Um,
they
so
are
yeah, if you
playing.
guys want to pull that up, Stokes, I can DM you the link if you need it. Unless you want to just, I mean,
Yeah,
check the stream page. It's Boomtown or whatever his name
I'm
is.
looking. Okay,
All right, let me.
Okay, West.
okay, yeah, I got it.
All right, if anybody is listening, can you tell us if we're sounding okay? All right, JD's gonna join us too.
Oh boy.
I think I need to see if he still has access to this channel. Let's see, server settings. Stokes, I'm taking the high road with the stuff that happened the last couple days.
That's good. It's great.
Because I definitely thought about taking the low road tonight on the podcast, but I didn't want to do that.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Well,
I'm growing up, guys. Aren't you proud of me?
it would be
Hey, listen.
completely unlike you to take the low road there.
Hey, listen, buddy. Costa's taking a job as a fluffer. Why can't you?
Nice.
I need to hear more about that. We got to get Costa on tonight. All
That's a good throw.
right. Okay. Yeah, stream isn't not linked. Can you DM Costa your stream link? And can someone click this link and make sure Sham and Stokes and me all are coming through? Whoopsie.
Cody said that we sound okay, and that Sham smells.
Oh, sounds good. Okay. So we're just going to get it rolling then.
Wait, what? You bitch. I'm sorry.
All right. Where is this? This is Boomtown. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first. Let me make sure this sounds down. Okay, good. Welcome to the season preview, week one preview podcast of AFL. We have advanced to the regular season, and guys, we have some games underway. And before we get into any of that, we are going to hop in because we have a barn burner going on in the NFC North, coming down to the final minutes. We're going to drop in right now and check out what's going on between the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears. Let me get this text out of your way. I understand that's annoying.
Oh
Okay, so
wow.
looks like West took a really bad sack. We're going to figure out what this penalty is. Illegal contact, so he gets bailed out by that. This was an interesting game, guys, because early on, West had a really comfortable lead. I checked back in here, and now A-Bomb took it. So it is week one. You don't want to read too much into it, but those division games can come back and bite you if you let them slip away. And I think whoever loses this game, the way it's played out, is going to feel pretty bad about it. So Matt Stafford going against his old team. Sham, what do you think about some of the moves West has made? There's no more Khalil Mack. There is Chris Godwin. Matt Stafford's his quarterback. What do you think about some of these moves?
Well, we've had him and I. We've had conversations before we actually league play took place, and he he wanted to make his team based off of create his team based off of how he would play in Mutt. So some of them kind of to me head scratchers, but
Oof.
they seem to be working for him.
All right, so he gets stuffed there on third down. So now it's 4th and goal. All comes down to this. Who
He's
burned the
gonna go
timeout
for
there?
it if he scores. I hope he does.
Go for 2. That's a Stokes move.
That is most definitely his best move.
So West has all
No
3 of his
question
timeouts.
about
So
it.
this isn't do
Oh,
or
he's
die. So the stream is behind you guys. We'll find out. Oh, good read, but intercepted. And we did mention those 3 timeouts. He's not dead, but he's on life support. While we wait for A-Bomb's team to take the field, let's check in on the other game going on right now, and that is the LA Rams, Rams going against the Dallas Cowboys. I'm sorry, Dallas Cowboys, excuse me, going against Goof's LA Rams. Goof hanging tight with Mustang, 15-all there as they're getting ready to head to the 4th quarter. But let's go on back now
Oh,
to
thanks.
the Detroit Lions and Chicago Bears. We'll see if A-Bomb can run out the clock on this game. This is the kind of content we can provide on AFL podcasts. We can drop in on games, see what's going on. We can criticize you in the moment because you don't even know we're watching. He throws the ball there, Stokes. What do you think of that move?
I think that was a bad idea. Just not just because of the result, but you just run the ball 3 times. If you don't get a first down, you don't get a first down. You have to drive 40, 50 yards without a timeout. That's maybe he just has a different idea about how he wants to play his football, and that's okay. But
All
not
right.
something I would.
Oh, so the Bears are going to get the ball back here, and Stokes, as we're waiting for the punt here, for the guys that have taken a couple years off of Madden, there's a new running clock now where maybe the last time they played Madden, going 60 yards in 30 seconds wasn't quite a big deal. But right now, if you don't have any timeouts and you got to go 60 yards, it's almost Hail Mary time, right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there are some lucky things that can happen where you can get if you have an X factor wide receiver, you can get a good animation, or if you get one-on-one coverage, you can attack that. But for the most part, you put yourself in a really bad position unless someone has a blown coverage or whatever the case is.
They pull their guy off of a streak or something.
I said blown. I said blown coverage or whatever the case is.
Hey, I said I
Put
was
four
going to take
guys
the
in a
high
spy.
road.
Put 4 guys in a spy. Yeah, well, I'm letting you take the high road, Josh. I'm taking the low road.
Cheater Jeremiah is not taking the high road. So he plays the sideline there. 24 seconds left. Probably lucky that he just incomplete pass. Looked like he was trying to set up a double post there and a wheel route on the sideline, hoping somebody could pop open. And good defense there as the Lions look to be in pretty much a prevent set here. West doesn't even have to work the sideline though because of that decision to not call timeout. He can still work
Yeah.
the middle of the field.
One of the things that I've seen in this game is like any deep balls, for the most part, the cornerback has the advantage. Like the cornerback generally gets the animation for the interception, and aside from guys like Mike Evans, it's the only guy I've really seen consistently just abuse cornerbacks and safeties. But other than that, for the most part, I've seen the corners are getting the position on any ball thrown deep.
Ooh, big completion there to Cordell Patterson, and the Bears still have life. JD has joined us. You may have heard him hop on. His game is in the books. We'll get into that as we start to preview week 1 and talk about the games that have already been played. First down here is Stafford is calling some hot routes. Still the prevent look from the Lions. Still, you don't have to work the sidelines. You can, he's going for it all there. That's probably going to get picked. And it is. So that's going to be the ball game. The Lions are going to get to 1-0, barring a fumble here. And the Bears are going to fall to a very disappointing 0-1. We'll take one quick check-in again on the Rams and the Cowboys. Looks like the Rams have taken the lead 22-15. As I'm impressed by Goof. Hasn't played Madden in multiple years, and now he's beaten Stang 22-15. So we'll come back to that game in a little bit. Fun live little check-in, but guys, we gotta do some previews now. So we're gonna say goodbye to Rams Cowboys, but you can check that out on the what was I gonna say on the stream channel on Discord. But I am gonna still pull up Chrome because I want to go through my Madden, and that'll work. And JD, looks like you had a pretty successful week number 1 as your Ravens got a dominating victory over Bailey's Cleveland Browns, and that game is not showing up even though it was showing up on my phone. The final score was 41-13. What happened in that game?
I think Bailey just, his first game back, man. First game back. Stokes, shut up, Stokes.
That's
Oh,
Shane.
that's Sam.
Oh, that was Sam. That was Sam. I can't tell. Sorry. So,
Yikes.
yeah. So, but he's gonna get better. He's gonna get better, man. So that's great that I got to play him first without any practice. But that guy's gonna get better.
Solid game from Lamar Jackson. 237 yards, 15 of 16. Wow, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And Stokes, one thing I'm seeing, at least in other leagues, and JD, I know you're in another league also, is when there are blowouts, it seems like one thing is a common denominator, and it's the team that lost turns the ball over a lot. And in this game, Baker Mayfield, 4 interceptions.
Absolutely, that's extremely indicative of the score is the amount of turnovers, and I mean those things can snowball really quickly. Partly because of you may make bad reads, but another part of it may be you just start getting frustrated with the game, and you're like, you know what? I'm just going to throw some risky passes, and then they continue to pick it, and they continue to pick it, and then you're now you have thrown 8 interceptions when you could have, if had you focused a little bit, you could have narrowed that down, maybe run the ball a little bit more.
I think too what frustrated a little bit was the run game never got going because I played Campbell in the middle and he was just throwing the center around. It was really kind of.
He's got inside stuff, I assume, right?
He was just he was just throwing that guy around.
Looks like Judon had 2 sacks for you. Wow, the interceptions were divided up pretty nicely. Blair got 1. Warrior, there's a guy with the last name Warrior. He got 1. Anthony Everett got 1, and then the man Marcus Peters got 1. So JD, congratulations on getting to 1-0. We are now looking back in on the Rams and the Cowboys as Cowboys are at the 16-yard line in the red zone. We'll stay with this, see what they get on this trip, as looks to be a pretty important possession. Stokes, early on in Madden, a lot of there's a variation here. Zeke Elliott's going to tie it up with a touchdown. Early on, especially in the Madden season, there can be a bit of an advantage from the guys, and we'll get through some of these matchups in week 1. The guys who have been playing multiple hours a day since the game dropped, and the guys who, maybe played 1 or 2 games or 0 games and just hopped into the league and picked up the controller. How much do you read into early season 1 wins and losses?
I think that it's really dependent upon the person, and I wouldn't expect someone to have taken a year or 2 years off the game and then come in and be ready to dominate. Because one of the biggest things that you have to get used to if you didn't play last year is the fact that there are players with abilities and X factors, which makes them once unlocked or not unlocked, but once they are triggered, they can do even more special things than they do. So if you haven't played any of the game last year, that's going to be eye-opening to you, and you'll have to. It's going to be like learning something completely new, and that's how all of us were last year. But now with that year under our belts, if you haven't played, you're going to be where we were last year.
West and A-Bomb are exchanging good games in chat. You love to see good sportsmanship, and we are back now on the Cowboys and Rams. We'll let that game play out, though. Maybe we'll check back in a little bit. Guys, I wanted to do a little bit of a division preview tonight, but I don't know. It's kind of late. I think We touched on that a bit during team selection. I think right now, with it being week 1, everybody's excited. I think the best thing to do right now is just to dive into some of these matchups, go around our podcast panel, and just make some predictions. Are you guys cool with that?
Sure.
Yep.
Oh, tied up Rams game.
But where you, he said that already.
Oh, okay. I was watching some porn. I didn't.
We've established that Sham doesn't listen to me on the podcast, but I do have some NFL Films music going on in the background. So if anybody in chat, I'm not watching chat right now. If anybody in chat complains about music being too loud, let me know. But it all kicks off, even though other games have already started. But the real NFL kicks off a week from tonight with the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Houston Texans, who had a huge lead on them in the real life playoffs. In AFL, the Texans are run by Joker, and the Chiefs are run by Magic. So we talked about how there could be a variance between guys that have played the game a lot and guys that haven't played the game much. Magic didn't play Madden at all last year, and Joker played it from start to finish. And Joker's in at least one more league, plays it all the time. I don't know if Magic has played any games yet. I know Magic has the Chiefs. I know he has a huge team advantage. I would love to see him get off to a fast start, but this is a tough draw for him. I'm going to say the Texans win this one. I'd love for Magic to prove me wrong, but I'm going to go with Joker and the Texans. Sham, what do you think about this one? Stokes, what do you think about this one?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think that the Magic's going to be able to score a bit because Joker plays a little bit of a risky type of defense. He takes chances, and also the fact that you got Mahomes and Kelsey and Nicole Hartman and Tyreek Hill. I mean, it's going to be really difficult for them to not score. I would expect it to be something in the range of like 42 to 31 or something like that. I don't think it'll be a blowout. I think that Magic will score, but I don't expect him to be able to stop Joker.
What do you think, JD?
I mean, if you haven't played all year, I mean, it depends on if Magic's been practicing at all. If he hasn't, and this
He hasn't.
If this is cold,
just,
okay. I mean, this is gonna be bad. Just my opinion. I just think it's gonna be 49-7.
Yeah, I mean, it could be bad. It definitely could be. It could come down to what we talked about earlier with the turnovers. But Joker's been a guy that sometimes can get greedy trying to get some stats and some scores, and he can turn the ball over himself. So, he doesn't want to play around with it, but I think we all agree that it would be a pretty major upset if the Chiefs walk away with a victory in this one. All right, JD, let's talk about a team that's near and dear to your heart. The Atlanta Falcons and Cody Rankin play host to Cody Stitzel's Seattle Seahawks. Not only do I like this matchup because it's a battle of the Codys, but I think both of these guys are thought of in the same light, where they're not on the same level, at least perception-wise, as the Nino and the Stokes, and maybe even like the Jokers and the Dannys. But when you start talking about that next tier of guys who you expect to be in the playoffs, competing for playoff spots, and it wouldn't surprise you if they made a Super Bowl run, I think both of these guys are right there. And then when you compound that by this being an NFC matchup, this is a big regular season matchup to kick off the season. Now, the Falcons, I don't think they've made any trades so far. They did get one development upgrade, and they put that on their rookie cornerback, the A.J. Terrell. The Seahawks, so they made him from normal to star. The Seahawks have made a massive trade. They traded away both Avalanche players, a little controversial, Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams. They did get an edge threat back in Von Miller. They got Justin Simmons, the safety. I wasn't a huge fan of that trade. I think Cody Stitzel had some instant regret. But with all of that said, I think I'm going to go with the Seahawks here, and I say that because I know Cody's been playing a lot, Cody Stitzel. I don't know if Cody Rankin's been playing a lot. I know one league he's in that I believe Chef is one of the commissioners in. They delayed the start so they could get the patch, so he's not getting games in there. I know he's very active on MLB, so I'm totally guessing here. I could just be biased that I want my division rival to lose, but I'm going to say the Seahawks get a squeak out a victory here over the Atlanta Falcons. What do you think, Stokes?
I'm going to say that Cody Rankin will win in the game because I think he's a gamer, and I think that, you know what, check that. I'm gonna go with Cody Stitzel.
It's tough.
I'm gonna peel that one back. I think I know Cody Rankin is a good player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up 13-3. But I think that this early in Madden season, where everyone doesn't know everything, I expect for Cody Stitzel to win that game.
All right, JD, we got 2 picks for the Seahawks. You picking against your Falcons?
So look, man, it ain't about the Falcons. I play squads with Cody all the time, and I talk to Cody daily and stuff like that. So I'm gonna pick Cody Rankin to motivate Cody Stitzel. So,
Okay.
Yeah, man, you made all those trades. Let's see it. No excuses. I know he's listening.
All right, well, we got a fun matchup coming up with an NFC East matchup between the Washington football team and Prime making his return after taking all of Madden 20 off. And K. Will, who did play Madden 20, not in CFM, but did play some MUT Draft, Superstar KO mode, things like that, online ranked. Both of these guys are former AFL Super Bowl champions, both of them in their prime, pun intended. Were always considered Super Bowl contenders, and now they're division rivals. They both get their favorite teams. In Prime's case, it looks like he's been trying to wheel and deal. He almost had Ryan Kerrigan sent away today, but that trade got denied. K. Will, I'm trying to think if he's made many trades. It seems like he's maybe made a couple, but they don't stand out to me as major moves. I like this matchup. I think I'm going to lean toward K. Will here, though. I feel like he's probably played just a little bit more Madden. Definitely, I think he's played more Madden 21. I did talk to Costa. They played an unranked game against each other a couple days ago. He said K. Will's offense was very impressive. K. Will's always impressive offensively. This is a flip of the coin game to me. Both of these guys, I think, at their best, are going to compete for a Super Bowl championship in this league. But as far as out of the gate, I think K. Will's Eagles are just going to start off a little bit stronger. Plus, I think he has a pretty significant team advantage when you talk about the Eagles over the football team from Washington. Sham, are you back with us?
I am.
Who do you like in the Eagles and the Washington football team matchup?
Neither. Boo.
It's gonna be a tie.
No, I think that because Prime has just been away from Madden, I think that, and K. Will did say that he did play a bit of 20 a bit, just not online. So my nod will go to K. Will.
All right, we'll get to the rest of the predictions here in a minute, but we're checking back in on the Rams and the Cowboys, and there's a ball in the air, and the Cowboys cannot pick it off, and the Rams are still alive. Sting has got to be sick right now, so they're down by 1 point and 24 seconds left.
Missed the extra point after his touchdown.
That's what happened? That's how we got there? Oof.
Uh-huh.
Been there, Goof.
You
Hey,
got to really slow down after you score a touchdown, because for some reason the game freezes up when all the commotion's happening. So if you're used to just scoring a touchdown and clicking X real fast, kicking your extra point, it locks up, and then when it comes back, the meter's gone. So I don't know if anybody's noticed that.
Whoa.
That's what my game does.
Goof is just chucking it. That's a great tip, JD. I saw Nino mention something about that too, where you almost have to count to 5 whenever the kick meter comes up, and you can avoid the glitch.
Yep.
And also
Same with kickoffs.
Something RVD always stresses: if you're kicking an extra point, there's zero reason to go full meter on that thing. Go about half meter on it, and then the accuracy portion of it gives you a lot more leeway if you don't have as much power on it. So just little things to think about that right now would be a huge difference for the Rams. So the Rams still have a timeout. The plays I've seen so far, it doesn't appear Goof necessarily has a real good plan as far as route combinations to get guys open. It seems like he's just chucking and hoping. But this is it here. So he's going to throw it deep and see if he can somehow get somebody in field goal range. And it'd be interesting if, after missing an extra point, if it comes down to a long field goal, if he could get it done. But he's got to convert here on 4th and 3. Doesn't have an opening there, swatted away. The Cowboys are going to win this game. Cowboys do not want to intercept any passes over the middle of the field, so the Cowboys are going to improve to 1-0. The Rams fall to a difficult 0-1, but Stokes, I know you're happy to see that Rams, who you have the pick of, are 0-1.
Yes, sir. I love it.
All right,
More
Stokes.
losses.
Well, while we got you on the mic, let's get your thoughts on the Washington-Philadelphia matchup.
I think that will win that game mainly because I think that he is. I think K Will that is just more consistent. Like Prime, if he gets if he throws a bad interception, he'll let that stick with him for the next drive, and then maybe the next drive doesn't go well, and then it'll go down the next drive, and it'll keep on going down and down. But if Prime starts out well, then he'll have that confidence at the same time. So I just think that I trust K Will more as far as consistency goes right now.
All right, so we got 3 votes for the Eagles. JD, are you going to sweep it, or are you going to go with Washington?
I'm going to go with the Eagles. Better team, and so I played K. Will in preseason as well, and he was doing some really stupid stuff with the bull rush on Fletcher Cox, and on 3rd down. So watch out, Prime.
All right, all 4 of us are picking the Eagles. Hope maybe Prime will prove us wrong. All right, and well, we have a lot of division matchups. This was by design, wasn't it? This was an NFL thing to get division matchup. Well, never mind. I see Oakland and Carolina. It looks like they had an effort here to get a a conference and division matchups early with COVID, and just in case they had to shut stuff down. Let's move to the AFC East, and this one, I don't know how entertaining it'll be on the field, but I think in chat it could be very entertaining. We have Reese's New England Patriots, who surprisingly traded away Cam Newton. They will be rolling out Jameis Winston as their starting quarterback, and they will be taking on Pepe's Miami Dolphins. I had a chance to play Pepe last night in another league. He was using the Dolphins. And what I would say is I don't think there's much of a team advantage here, and that might sound kind of weird when you think about the Patriots as that perennial Super Bowl contender and the Dolphins as the team that was competing to pick first last year. But when you factor in all the picks the Dolphins have had over the last couple of years, some of the young talent they've acquired, and all the players that the Patriots have lost, including franchise quarterback Tom Brady, it just to me does not seem like these rosters are too far apart. But I think Reese is better than Pepe. I don't know. I think maybe as time goes on with Madden 21, Pepe can close that gap. But I do know Pepe hasn't had time to play much Madden at all. He's been very busy with work. And Reese, I'm sure, I haven't talked to him specifically on this, but I'm sure knowing him, he's been grinding this game whenever he gets a chance to. And I know he's in multiple leagues. I expect Reese to be a little bit more prepared in this Week 1 matchup. Last we saw Reese in AFL, he was somewhat capable of being his own worst enemy, where he'd look really good and then he'd make a mistake and it would snowball and it would turn into 3 or 4 mistakes. Maybe he's gotten past that. Hope so for his sake. But I think barring him beating himself, I feel pretty good about picking the Patriots in this matchup. Stokes, how do you see it?
Completely agree. Pepe, we were in PS4 together last year, and would have, some games where it's like close into the 4th quarter, and then other games I win by 50 points. It's just his lack of consistency as far as being, successful, and he doesn't really have an offensive game plan to speak of. So he's trying to, string things together. But if you don't have a plan, then you're going to set yourself up for failure if you're not, getting points.
All right, Sham, we got 2 votes for the Patriots in this one, and it looks like this game is underway based on what I'm seeing on my PlayStation menu. It says they've tried to play twice, so maybe it is underway. I'll have to check his stream in a second. Sham, do you agree with us on that?
Well, Reeves was playing Madden, I guess 20, maybe up about a month ago. So, I mean, I don't know how much of a difference it is between games because I didn't play 20, but I would put my money on Reeves. For the guys that haven't created coaches, please delete the original coaches and create coaches. Sorry.
Who did that? Do you know?
We have. I'm just going through the list now. Prime is supposed to be switching his now. Goof is still McVay. Roman, Gase. Let's see.
Can't believe that one.
Damn it, Roman. And that's about it. So, but Prime is in the process of changing his coach.
All right. Well, according to my PlayStation menu, K. Will's stream is fired up, and he is looking through his depth chart right now. So maybe we're going to get some Eagles and Washington matchup to put in the background here. That'd be kind of exciting. Pepe is finishing up his PS4 game, so that was a false alarm with he and Reese. All right, so we have 3 predictions for Reese there. JD, who do you like in this one?
I'll go with Reese on this one. I think that tight end over the middle with the little thing behind it, the little post behind it, will prove to be too much for Pepe.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm going to go back to... 1 second, I got to make sure. I just went to my OBS and it looked like my thing was off center. Let me just fix it up here a little bit.
I'll have to hop off here in about 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, we'll get rolling here a little faster. The next matchup I want to talk about is another one very similar to Magic and Joker, where you have one guy who's played the game a ton and is a Super Bowl contender, and another guy who is just trying to get his feet wet, get back into Madden. You have Danny's Green Bay Packers going up against Justin's Minnesota Vikings. Justin did trade away Harrison Smith. He got Everson Griffin and Carl Joseph from the Browns. I think he regrets that trade now, knowing how powerful the superstar players are. I don't think Danny's made any trades with the Packers. They're pretty stock ready. That defense is loaded. Justin, to me, is a guy that I don't think he's going to start off very strong. But when he puts his mind to it and he's really grinding, I think he's a guy that can become pretty good at this game. Now, he has to make up a lot of experience here, and there's just things that come with playing Madden over the years that are inherent in some of us, that just, knowing when to, okay, you see bunch, so you put a certain guy in a zone because you know what routes are out of bunch that are the most popular ones, and that's just something that you can't gain without experience. But JD's the kind of guy that when he puts his mind to something, I think he can JT, he can put his best foot forward and really have a good chance to pull out a victory. I don't think that's going to be early, though. I think maybe Season 2, Season 3 will be his time. I like the Packers pretty comfortably in this one as JT still tries to find himself. Stokes?
I think if this game was based on want to, I think that JT would win this game, because Danny, he just goes around and he just goes and chucks it up, and he's whatever is fun for him, that style of game. And I think that JT is he wants to get better, and that's what he said to myself, and he said it in any of the chats and all that stuff. He wants to get better, and I think that he can and will, but I don't think that he would be at this point able to beat Danny.
Sham, how do you see this one?
Yeah.
Indeed.
And JD.
Yeah, I think that Danny does like to have fun to some point, but I think he also knows that what to do that's going to work, and that's what's fun. And it could get rough.
I think what's interesting is about guys having fun. And Danny's a great player. For those of you that weren't around when Danny joined us, and that would have to be not many of you, because he's been here for a while, but maybe the guys that we're talking like Madden 13, Madden 25. Danny is on that level of guys that you just expect to be in the Super Bowl contention. He's helped us with setting up Discord. He's really one of our best owners. He's a commish over in PS4. But he does tend to get a little casual, especially during the regular season, play around. You'll see him make an interception and just lateral it to a teammate just because he's trying to have fun. But I wonder if some of that is going to go away when guys realize that there is only one bye and how crucial that bye is. And, even losing a regular season game can cost you that bye, and that's big. So we'll see how that plays out. So Stokes, your Jacksonville Jaguars play host to Drop's Indianapolis Colts. Doesn't make a lot of sense for us to pick a commission or pick somebody on the podcast's game. So just tell us, knowing what you know about Drop, I think we can honestly say that there's a huge advantage here, similar to the Danny and Justin game, similar to the Joker and Magic game. Drop has not played much Madden at all. Stokes, you obviously are one of the best players in this league. I know you don't have what we consider an OP team. He probably has a team advantage. I see this as a lopsided victory for you. How do you attack a game with a mindset of going into it thinking that you're expected to win by a lot, thinking you should probably win by a lot? What do you do to get yourself ready for a game like that, to prevent yourself from beating yourself in a situation like that?
I try to remember that I'm not trying to win a game by 100 points. I'm just trying to win this one game, and that's how I've always been. Really, as far as gameplay is concerned, is I will grind every game I play just because that's the way I prefer to play games. I just grind and grind and grind, and that's what leads me to success because I'm so stubborn in the way I play. And you can stop me for 3 quarters. I'm going to continue to run the ball because I feel that eventually I'm going to break and I'll end up winning. And so that's the mindset that I have against individuals that I may be perceived as better than, and that I should win those games. But sometimes it's one.
All right, well, the next 2 games on our list are games that are already in the books. We saw the end of that Bears-Lions game, A-Bomb with the big win there over West. We did talk about JD with his blowout victory over Bailey. Turnovers were the difference in that one. In the AFC East, another one of those lopsided matchups, I think on paper at least. We have Nino's Buffalo Bills going against Roman's New York Jets.
35-0.
Yeah, this one's gonna, I think, get ugly, guys. And it just doesn't really have much to do with Roman. I don't think he's played much Madden 21 based on what I've been hearing, and that's fine. But I think Nino probably has played the most Madden 21 so far out of everybody. Nino is one of our best owners. He's super active. He's just, I think sometimes he's misunderstood. I think some people think that, he gets a bad reputation because he's good, but he's a good guy. He's a Bills fan, so he's got that going for him. And he's just a really active owner. But what Nino does every year... I'm sorry, what happened?
I said he's single, so he's got nothing else to do.
Is there a development with his relationship? No, never mind. We don't want to talk about that on the air. I need to talk to him though. I apologize. Okay. So what Nino does when the game comes out, which is kind of cool, is he grinds, or at least he used to when ranked mattered. He would grind ranked and get up there rated in the top whatever. And now I know he's been playing MUT, just grinding that. He's not going to pay for a team, but he's grinding that in draft, and he's playing head-to-head games. So his defense, just for some context, he's had, I think, 2 shutouts or maybe 1 shutout in one game where he gave up 6 points in another league we're in together. He is all buttoned up on defense, which he normally is. I think Roman is going to have a really tough time moving the ball on him. I don't think he's going to be able to run the ball. I think he's going to have to throw, and that's what Nino wants you to do. He baits you into interceptions. As we talked about on the last podcast, he's a master baiter. So I think this one's going to get ugly. Maybe Roman can surprise us. It'd be kind of funny if he did, but I'm picking Nino in a blowout here. Stokes, I know you already voiced your opinion on that. You're going Nino in a blowout. Sham, any thoughts here?
Fuck you, Nino, but Nino.
And JD.
I'm going to say that Roman will be ahead in the fourth quarter. At the very end, he'll try to dive in the end zone and follow the 1-yard line and lose.
That would be very fitting. Seems like we've seen that before. Maybe he'll L2 celebrate and
fumble. Has he done that before? I was just making that up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that happened, and he lost the game because of it. Yes.
Yeah, I have video proof of it, and he had his mic in when it happened. So we'll post that in chat later.
Oh god.
All right, guys. The Carolina Panthers and Kimmy take on Fisher's Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, so Fisher is a guy that in AFL usually contends for a playoff spot. Kimmy, not so much. For some context, last year, since AFL didn't happen, guys, and I apologize, I realize I keep referencing the PS4 league. It's really the only way that I can give you a reference point of what happened in Madden 20 since we took off Madden 20 and a lot of our guys were in PS4. So if it feels like I'm ramming the whole PS4 thing down your throat, I apologize. It's trying to just be like, to give you a reference point of last year, not to have to continue to go back 2 years. But that's why we do it. Fisher won a Super Bowl last year in PS4 and does compete for playoff spots. So I think Fisher would be the favorite in this game, but Kimmy's playing very well so far in Madden 21. He's running the ball very effectively in another league that I'm in with him. I think he's going to have a fighting chance here. I think this game's going to be close. I am going to pick the Raiders to win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than we expect. It wouldn't surprise me if the Panthers won this game, because I could see Fisher getting a little pass happy, turning the ball over, and with Kimmy's running style, it's hard to lose the game with turnovers when you run. That's another benefit of being a runner. I'm going to pick Fisher by like a field goal, a walk-off field goal, but I think it's going to be one of those games that Kimmy can walk away from being proud. Stokes, how do you see this one playing out?
I can see this either being a Fisher blowout or him being blown out because in the other league he got in a situation where he just had to pass a lot and then he ended up with 8 interceptions and he got blown out. So that's how this game is really. I mean, if you're going to turn over the ball, it's a good likelihood that you're going to get blown out if your opponent isn't also being careless with the football. I don't think it'll be a close game. I think it will be a blowout one way or the other.
Sham, how do you like this game?
Did you guys know that Taco Bell is eliminating the Mexican pizza?
I didn't know that. That's disappointing.
Was that an ad on your Pornhub site? You just learned that?
No, I'm on actually CNN.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Weirdo, but yes.
You've moved on. You moved on.
So Mexican pizza. Pizza has cheese on it. Madden has cheese. Sham, you just called Fisher cheesy.
Wow.
Wow. But
wow. Breaking news.
Or wait, Mexican cheese? Were you talking to? Never mind. Nope, not gonna. Higher road.
Oh god.
Go ahead, Sham.
Nothing wrong with Mexican cheese.
I'm gonna pick Kimmy in this game. I like Fisher, but I'm gonna pick Kimmy.
I like it. I think this one has, of any of the week 1 upsets, especially when you talk about early on in the Madden grind, upsets are definitely something you can see more of. We're going to speed through some of these last ones. We're going to try to keep Stokes on as long as we can. He said he had to roll probably in like 15 minutes. We have the Bengals and Trav taking on Lara's LA Chargers. These guys are very familiar with each other. They've played each other a lot in Lara's league. Trav does what he does, man. He wins games that you're like, man, I don't think he's going to win that game. And then he just goes out and loses to somebody that you start to believe in him. And he's kind of like the real life LA Chargers, where you start to believe in him and then he just loses a game to somebody. You're like, well, wait a minute, I was starting to believe in you. And then the next week he goes out and beats somebody that you're like, man, you beat him? You're really impressive. Where I think Lara is more a steady hand. I think he's probably not somebody that you think of as a perennial playoff contender, although I think with that division he's in, he definitely has room to grow there and become that. I would say if one of these guys is going to throw themselves out of the game with bad interceptions, it would probably be Trav, but I'm going to lean on Trav here. I think he's probably got a little bit more Madden 21 under his belt. This could be a really close game. I really don't have a strong feeling either way, but I'm gonna go Bengals. I think the Bengals win. Maybe we'll just call it home field advantage. Stokes.
Yeah, so I have the same back and forth thought process as you in this one because Lar has a better team in my opinion by quite a bit, and if Joey Bosa is going to take over the game, I could see Trav losing that game by a lot. But he's the ultimate Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, or whatever. It's the wrong way, whatever. Anyway, but he can beat just about anyone, but he can lose to anyone, literally. So I think there is just really no telling with what type of player is going to show up in that game for him.
So you just said something that really made me want to change my vote because for those of you that don't know, CJ is one of just a really great owner in PS4. I mean, just the kind of owner you would love to have in AFL if he ever wanted to join, but I think he's kind of a one-league guy. And he's one of the better players over there, and he was even saying that with the Bengals, with their offensive line situation, you have to throw the ball so fast because there's just so many instant sacks. And then when you said the thing about Bosa, and it's like, man, Bosa and Ingram against that Bengals offensive line, I'm switching my pick, guys. I'm going to go to Lara. I think this is going to be a situation where the team dictates who wins. And I don't think there's a huge difference in these guys talent-wise, so I am going to go with the Chargers. So I'm flipping my pick over to Lara. JD, how do you see this one?
Well, so to echo some of what you're saying, I was going to add the caveat if Lara can stop the run. Right? So if Mike can stop the run, I'll go with Mike because Trav loves to run, right? So if he's got some runs in his back pocket and Mike can't figure out how to stop them, It could be a long night for Mike. But if Mike can stop those runs and force them to pass, then I think Bosa's going to make a big difference. Maybe a fumble, return for a touchdown, or something like that.
All right, Sham, who do you like in this game?
Yawn. Taco Bell is going to add new innovations to the menu.
Sham, are you hungry by chance?
Very.
We need to get you some food in your belly. All right, well, Sham and I are going to do battle week 1. We're not going to talk about that. We want to talk about the league, not the people on the show. Since we're doing battle. Maybe we'll talk about what happened in our game on the next show. Let's move on to the 49ers and the Cardinals. So we aren't talking about Sham and myself, but we are going to talk about two guys who are normally on this show. Since they're commissioners and they get a lot of airtime, we'll keep it short on this one since we are running out of time. I think RVD has a huge team advantage here. No, I'm sorry. I think Costa has a huge team advantage here. I think very similar to Chargers and Bengals, I think the advantage on the offensive line of the Cardinals versus the defensive line of the Niners is going to show out another Bosa. I think RVD has an uphill climb here, but the Cardinals' offense is fun. If he can find time in the passing games, there are weapons galore for him to take advantage of. Although Costa has beefed up that secondary in San Francisco, trading for guys like Denzel Ward, I think I'm going to pick Costa to win this game. A lot of it has to do with team, but this is one of those flip a coin, it won't surprise me. But I say all of that with, this is a huge game for the division because I think these guys are going to be neck and neck all year long. They both got the teams they wanted in team selection. I think most people view them as fairly even owners, so whoever wins this game is going to have a nice leg up early on. But I'm going to go with Costa with the edge over RVD, primarily because of that advantage he has with his defensive line going against the Cardinals' offensive line. And honestly, I think the advantage might be just as big on the other side with the Niners' O-line against the Cardinals' D-line, although Chandler Jones is a beast. Stokes, how do you see it?
I mean, I don't know because I see a different RVD than everyone else sees when we play. I mean, when he and I play a game, it's like he becomes just Peyton Manning. He's just boom, boom, just nickel and diming me and just wrecking my defense. So I never know, honestly, because I think that RVD, he's got the offensive patience. I will say it. He can if you're gonna offer him 5 or 10 yards on a little curl or slant or in route, he'll take that all the way down the field. And I don't think he'll be much of a gambler, and that short passing game can negate what could be those short passes and quick sacks. So I think I am gonna go with RVD just because I have to.
JD, who do you like in this battle?
So I'm gonna have to go with Costa because I think he's got the better team, but I don't know how much RVD's been playing. But I know Costa's been playing a lot. He's
playing right now.
Oh yeah, I mean I know he's playing in leagues. I'm just saying I know that Costa's been in practice mode, figuring out defenses. He's sending me messages going, "What do you think about this setup and that setup?" So I just know he's been working on stuff. So I'll just give him an edge on this one.
All right, we can confirm that the Patriots and Dolphins have kicked off. We will get that game pulled up here in a little bit. We'll watch a little bit of it before we get out of here, but we're going to get back to predictions here. Sham, do you have any thoughts on this Costa RVD game, or are you just going to give us some more Taco Bell facts?
Go RVD!
Ouch. All right, the LA Rams we already saw lost to the Dallas Cowboys. Sting improves to 1-0. We have E-Dub's New York Giants on the Monday Night Football first game taking on Luca's Pittsburgh Steelers. There's no love lost between these guys. They've had some arguments in the past. I haven't talked to E-Dub this Madden cycle, so he's a guy that I would say 3 years ago would have been somebody who'd been grinding a bunch of Madden games and getting ready for the league, and I know he's been crazy busy at work with his business he runs, so I don't know if that's the case anymore. I honestly have no idea. I'm going to assume he's probably played quite a bit, and I know Luca has been busy at work, and his league games in his other league are really the only Madden he's really played. So with that being said, even though I think the Steelers have a pretty decent team advantage, I'm going to say E-Dub, leaning on Saquon Barkley, leaning on that running game, finds a way to get a victory over Luca week 1. I could see Luca losing this game with a turnover fest if he's not careful, because he's very pass happy and is not afraid to throw the interception. Stokes?
Yeah, I mean, another factor in this is that he has he's starting a 57 overall quarterback right now in Tyree Jackson. I mean, he's going to have to build him up, but in order to do that, you're going to have to make a lot of mistakes essentially, because he's no matter how good of a schemer, he's not just going to dot all the way down the field. Even some of the passers in the other leagues, they still have a bunch of interceptions because if you're using a bad passer, he's gonna make bad passes from time to time. So I would expect Edub to win the game because he would grind with Barkley for the win, not for the stats.
JD, how do you see this one?
Kind of the same way. So, Luca is pass happy. I think there's gonna be and like we talked about, turnovers are the key. So, yeah, I can't pick Luca on this one. So.
Sham, you gonna sweep it with us, or are you gonna pick Luca with the upset over Edub?
No, hell no. Edub. Actually, he started messaging me as soon as you mentioned his name.
Okay.
Hilarious. He didn't know who he was playing, and I'm not going to say what he said, but it's quite hilarious. I'll screenshot it. But anyway, Edub.
Told you they don't get along, Sham. Your DM probably confirms that. Okay, the last game on the books. It's going to be a fun one. We have Chef's Tennessee Titans taking on Flip's Denver Broncos. Flip added Bobby Wagner, Jamal Adams, Stefon Diggs to his roster. Stokes, Flip gets your early nomination for GM of the year, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I was telling you guys about it, obviously, but Flip can be my GM anytime he wants. He can build my team and just let me play the game because no matter what team, no matter what situation, he always turns them around. And if he left the league in 2 seasons, we wouldn't really have an issue of finding an owner for them because that's a team that is in really really good shape.
All right. Well, with all that said, with all the moves he's made, I'm gonna pick Chef here, and my reason is I know Chef is a guy that played Madden bell to bell last year. I don't know how good he is. I have never really been in a league with him. I know he's just super active, and usually the more you play Madden, the better you are. So I'm gonna assume he's at least decent. The one thing I will say about Flip is, while he hasn't played much Madden, I know he played a few seasons last year before bouncing in a different league. Flip is a conservative player by nature. So that is going to prevent him probably from throwing interceptions and intercepting himself out of the game. So not knowing Chef's play style, that could work in his favor. But I'm going to say the Titans win a close one here, get a big road victory in Mile High. Stokes, what do you think? I'm sorry, I said Texans, the Titans. Go ahead.
So I I think Flip is going to win this game. I think that Steph is going to try and grind a little bit with Derrick Henry, and the defenders on the Broncos are really good. And he may not get hit with enforcer too many times, but you're always a little bit nervous when you're thinking about Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams. So I think that they'll shut down their run game and he'll be forced to pass, and that's Ryan Tannehill.
Speaking of enforcers, Stokes, what's the scarier nightmare for you? Standing at the bottom of a mountain during an avalanche, or standing in the hole with Derrick Henry running through it?
Huh. I mean, I guess the bottom of an avalanche because I mean, if Derrick Henry, I could just fall on the floor and he may just step on me,
That's true.
but I might die under an avalanche.
All right, JD, I don't know how familiar you are with Chef and Madden, but same thing I'm going on. What do you think about this one?
I'm really not familiar at all. So could go either way. I have no idea. I've never watched the guy play. So flip on a coin flip.
Flip on a flip. Like it. Dolphins take a touchdown here on a nice pass to Matt Breida in the flats. I got to tell you guys, Pepe surprised me. The first drive, I was keeping an eye on it. He went 3 and out, which I mean, super impressive, right? But he had 2 deep passes that really just bounced off of his receiver's hands, and then Reese with a quick 3 and out. So Pepe with a 7-0 lead. We all picked against him in this matchup against Reese, but he's on the board early. All right, Sham, wrap us up. Who do you like in the matchup between Flip and Chef?
Fuck them. You want to play tonight?
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the week
Moving on.
the week 1 podcast. Feel free to tune into whatever streams you want. And I'm sorry, I just swallowed a drink of water and it went down the wrong pipe, wrong throat. Only have one throat. 1 second. Excuse me. We aren't really sure what kind of content we're going to be rolling out on a weekly basis. I like the advanced stuff where we talk about games that happen and previewed games that are happening. Stokes, I'm going to kick it to you for a second while I take another drink of water. What kind of content are you looking forward to from us rolling out podcast wise?
Yeah, I think that going through and looking at statistics and looking at games that happen. Next time we are having a podcast, we can look at how the week one or week two games have gone by the time we meet again, and we can talk about the surprises. And then as we get further into this, we'll be able to see how things are shaking out, and if we can be consistent as far as our scheduling in the podcast, I think that we'll have. Um, a better idea as we can call back to different things we spoke about in previous podcasts and things like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of it. I think the slower schedule is going to benefit a lot of us as far as our free time goes, and as far as us being content providers for the league. I think it gives us a lot more runway as far as what we can do creatively, post game shows, pre game shows, interviews. Like, it's still week one, but what I visualize with as easy as Discord is a situation where we just saw, Goof and West have a photo finish, and maybe we have one of them hop in chat right after it ends and just interview them on what we saw, stuff like that. I think that could be really neat. And submit your ideas for stuff we can do. We obviously don't have all the answers. This is your league too. Let us know what you like. Thanks again to JD for hopping on after your game. I know it's late where you're at. I appreciate it. It's 11:30 in your hometown. Stokes, again, I know you're up against a tough clock. Thanks for sticking with us and even joining us at the
Yeah,
end of another game.
yeah,
Sham, thanks for checking out the Taco Bell menu and keeping us up to date on what's going on with Taco Bell. And AFL,
Anytime.
thank you for getting us back on track. Madden 20 was a lost season for AFL, but I feel good about where AFL 21 is going. I appreciate all of you, probably more than you know. And we will talk to you next time on AFL Podcast.